Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So, today we are going to make the first part of a two-parter that can be done completely separately. You don't have to do both. So, it's not you have to do both. You might like to. So, we are going to make, so on Monday we're going to make a box, but today we're going to make some records. Okay, so these are some record note cards. Okay, so they're just backed on the back so you can write something in it. And we're going to make these. So I know all of you are far too young to remember vinyl, but it's coming back. So I thought we'd make some of these, and then we'll make the box for them to go in on Monday. Now, the reason why I've opted for not making the box today is today is Thursday, and I was going to make this video earlier in the week, but I have had a terrible migraine we're on day 3 now of this migraine. I've had problems with my vision. I cannot think properly, so I needed to do something that was fairly simple. And I put doing this video off until today, thinking it would have gone by now, but it hasn't. So we're doing something that's fairly uncomplicated. I'm going to show you what I did. Now, obviously, it depends on the size of the record that you make. It will depend on the box size, but I'm going to show you what I've done, and I made mine at 4 inches. Okay, so these are some that I made. So let me just get this one out of here. So let me just show you what I've done. So my previous ones. So we're going to make the record and the sleeve. So these were made, so this one and this one were made using let's start again because my brain isn't working. This one has been made using just a cutting tool, but then using that cutting tool to kind of like score over the surface and give you some grooves. Hopefully you can see those. And then these were made on my Cricut. So what I did was I set a circle, then I put some score lines, concentric score lines in to make it look like, the grooves of a record. Obviously, if you played this, it would just continuously go around on one groove because it's not a spiral. But we're not going to play them, so please don't, because they've got nothing on it. So rather than try and break my head, I thought we'd make these. So I'm going to show you what we did to make the record, and then how to make the sleeve. So what I did was, like I say, I did these on my Cricut. So these were done on my Cricut. Okay, and we're going to make them without the Cricut. We're going to make them with this. Okay, now I could make lots of them with the Cricut, but I'm obviously making it for those people that don't have a Cricut. Now you can get these kind of circle cutters most places. They're really quite cheap in the UK, certainly cheap. I got this from the Works in the UK, and I think it cost me £3, so it was nothing really. And you can either have a blade on it, so this one is fitted with a blade, or you can unclip the blade, and in here there are some pencil leads, and you can use it for drawing circles. So this denotes how big you want it. Now I'm cutting these at 4 inches, which means that it's just a little over 10. It's about 10.25 centimeters. Okay, so those people that want to work in centimeters can. Okay, so now don't forget that records were shiny. Some were less shiny, so like this. Then you also had, you might have got a red special edition one. You might have got a silver one. If you're the artist, you might have definitely had a silver record, or you might have had a gold record, or you might have gone for a bronze record, or any other colour. So don't think just too literally of it has to be black, and it can be just black, plain matte black card, like the one in here. That was just plain matte black card. So I'm going to make it and we'll go from there. So let's do a, oh, let's just be different and do a red one because we can. So we'll do a red vinyl one. Okay, so what I did was I just made sure that when I was cutting, I left enough space from the edge, and I used the side that I was cutting on facing up. Okay, the reason for doing that was because I did. You can use the face down, but the way that I cut it, I don't tend to turn this so much. I turn the card, and if you're going to do that, if you've got a shiny surface, you might scuff it on your mat. So that's the reason why I'm doing it like this. So you basically just need to kind of eyeball it, make sure that wherever you are going to put your, wherever you lay your pin, that's your home. No, wherever you lay your hat, that's your home. If you're, what was his name? Paul somebody. I can't remember what his name was. Anyway, it was a song. So I'm just going to push that in. So this one end is like a compass. It has a pin on it, okay, which I'm pushing in. Now sometimes you'd rest it on the card, okay, and other times you might choose to it comes with a little stand that's like a rubberized thing that you can push on, but we want to have the middle. We need to know the middle because we need to make a hole in the middle of it to make your the hole for it to sit on the record player with. So I'm just going to cut this. So what I tend to do is I tend to go around it, and I don't try and cut in the first turn. In this case, the first cut is not the deepest, and baby, I know. So yeah, I see, like, this is the reason why the inspiration for me to do this came from the fact that I've got a song in my head about everything that I do. Okay, so even with a migraine, I've still got songs in my head that just won't leave me alone. So I'm just cutting round. So this is what I do. I don't try to turn this because I found that when I try and turn this, it goes off center, and then you just end up with a continuous spiral where it just spirals out. And I just keep scoring, I'll keep cutting until it kind of runs free. Then once it's free, that's it, you can take that out. So that's it cut. Okay, so it's really easy to cut. Now I'll just let you know with these, when you find the place you want to put it to, there's a little locking mechanism that you push down and it locks it into place, and that way then it doesn't slide around. You can go bigger, you can go big, or you can go home, and you can unlock this and make this bigger to make even bigger circles, but we're not making bigger circles, so we'll lock it back into place. So let me just see if I can, it's not in there. It does come with spare blades. Well, mine certainly came with spare blades, and the little thing that you stand it in is in here. So if you didn't want to have a hole in the middle of your circle, you'd stand it in this, you'd put your pin on that, and that's got a little rubberized foot, and you can just score it that way. Okay, so just so you know, these I saw one of these and thought, I don't know how good they are at cutting circles. Bought one, thought, you know, worth that little investment. £3, you know, can't go wrong. And so it worked, and so I was happy with that. So how did I do the lines on it? So I unclipped it, okay, and then I just went down a bit, and I kind of eyeballed it and thought, okay, well, there would be nice. I'll have a groove there, because you could get into the groove, because you've got to prove your love to me, Madonna. So, and then this time, instead of cutting it, I just rested it on the surface and dragged my blade around it. And I'm not trying to cut through this time. I'm just going all the way around until I get to the other end, and there we go. That's the first one, and then you just make the next one a similar sort of size down. So if we go down, I don't know, to maybe down to there, and you space your grooves however far you like. You know, it depends on how authentic you want to be. So, you know, you're not going to get complete authenticity because you're not going to get the ability to play it, and also it's not going to be a spiral. So again, unclip it and push it down to the next bit. So I'm kind of going the same amount, a little bit over a number or a half number, because this is in centimeters. So if you buy them from your country, wherever you are in the world, yours will be marked in your preferred measuring. So in the UK we have a real weird mix because, you know, well, because we're British and we do everything a bit different to everybody else. Well, no, not everybody else, but because we kind of follow Europe in that we tend to do things in centimeters and meters and millimeters and that sort of thing, until it comes to long distance. So like if we're traveling, our British roads are marked out as X amount of miles to a place, not in kilometers or kilometers, however you say it. And our speeds, the road speeds, are marked as miles per hour, but we fill up our cars in litres. But we measure how fuel efficient our cars are by miles per gallon. So so we have a real strange mix in the UK. We're not, you know, lots of people my age specifically kind of learnt metric, but some things learnt a lot of things in imperial, and then we also had parents that had learnt imperial, so kind of we were translating for our parents and that sort of thing. So that's why we have this weird mix. And then as the younger generation, they are more fay with the centimeters, and so I know my weight in pounds. I'm not telling you. I'm not stupid. I just know it. And I also know my weight in kilos, and I know my height in feet and inches, and I also know it in centimeters. However, the younger generation tend to know their weight in kilos but not in pounds, and their height in centimeters. So, but still drive at however many miles per hour, and know that, you know, Leeds is 8 miles away. So it's very bizarre. So anyway, there we go. So what I do is I keep scoring until I'm kind of a bit further down. So a bit closer to the middle. Now, the middle bit, so because, you know, I wanted to have, so this one I made myself. So this one I just punched out a disc and then I just stamped it with a stamp that I'd got. And then I thought, how can I improve that and make it look like it was actually a picture with some writing on? So this one was made from a playing card. So one of these style playing cards. I just found a space that I liked, found a spot that I liked, and I punched it out with my punch, which you're going to say, where's your punch, Dave? And I'm going to say, I don't know. Oh, no, it's here. So I just found whatever I wanted, and, you know, I punched it out. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Or you can take any of your bits of off-cut card, you know, from the last box that we made, that impossible box that we found out wasn't impossible, and you might find a bit of writing that you might want. So can we get that, for instance? So that says medals. So we could have that in the middle. Okay, or we can go for something else, something different. Just remember, if you think about the way that well, you know, I know none of you are old enough to know this. Wink, wink. That's all right. You can pay me later. None of you know what the middle of a record looks like, do you? But you know, they always had a bit of a picture or something on it, and that. So let's find one of these that I quite like. I think I like that. Or do I want to go for that? Is that enough contrast, Dave? You're going to overcomplicate this in a minute, aren't you? Or we could go for squirrel nutkin. I like nuts, so do I. I am nuts. Haha. Maybe that. Maybe we do that. That's a bit quirky, isn't it? Let's put that on there. Oh, I like that. Yeah. So, one of the things that you'll find is you'll end up with, especially this kind of shiny card, it's got a white core to it. So you might end up with a white edge. And of course, we can always fix that with our trusty pad of many colours. Not your coat of many colours, because you're not Jeebus. So, I close my eyes, drew back the curtain. Yeah, leave it there. So we're going to go around and just ink the edge so that it kind of keeps the illusion. There we go. Got a red edge to it now. It might not be the same colour red, but it doesn't matter. No, you can't really tell. So, and then we're going to put him in place. So I kind of just centre him in that last thing that I did. You might want to ink it. You might want to make it look a bit, more authentic or aged or whatever. Aged, like me. If I'm not talking any sense, it's literally because of it's because it's me. No, it's probably my migraine. It's really been very challenging day to day being at work, because I have to work. I get about 2 migraines a month. So aren't I lucky? I'm having your share. So I get 2 migraines usually about a month. So I couldn't have any time off, otherwise I'd never be at work. So I just want something to kind of just smooth that out with, so that when I put it down on this nice shiny surface, it doesn't just squeeze out. So I'm going to kind of just drop it in. Don't worry about it being a little bit off center, because anybody that ever remembers playing the 45s or their 33.5s, their LPs, will know that the circle wasn't always in the middle. The disc wasn't always in the middle. It used to do that. So it went round depending on the speed or that. So once that's in there, then what I do is I take my Anywhere tool, so my Anywhere punch tool. So this is an Anywhere punch. There we go. Take that out. Pop that back in there. So I use this, or you can use a Nowhere punch. No, you can use a crocodile or whatever. I'm just going to use this because not everybody has a crocodile. And these are quite cheap to pick up. And then what I did was I just stuck that over the middle of that, over that hole, and then just hopefully get through the whole thing. Dave, try and do that. Maybe a bit more. There we go. And there we go. That's our hole in the middle. And that's one of the records. So we've made another record, so there you go. That'll be another one that we can put in a case in a minute. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's make another record. So do we want to go just classic black? Let's do a classic black. So I'm going to use this one. So again, like I say, there's some not as shiny stuff. I think the shiny stuff does tend to, you kind of see the lines in it better. But it's entirely up to you. It was also a great way for me to use up some of my shiny card, because I don't tend to use it in a lot of things. So because this is in centimeters, I want to make sure that that's in the same place, because this is marked at, so it'll say 10 centimeters on here. So this, let me just tell you, so this, although it says 10.25 centimeters, if you measured it, it's actually 5 centimeters. And the reason for that is because this marker is smaller than, so this is the half. So if you had a, right, I don't know whether I'm explaining this. I'm really sorry if I'm not. If this was marked for inches, it would be, instead of it saying 2 at this point, it would say 4, because these are half the size of the actual measurement. It's to scale, because it knows that the middle of this to there is 2 centimeters, because the whole of the circle would be 2 inches, because the whole of the circle will be 4, because it's only measuring from the middle to the edge. So whatever size it says here will be the finished size of the product, not from the middle to the edge. Does that make sense? And if it doesn't, answers on a postcard. Don't tell me, because at the moment my brain's not functioning enough. So if you are using a piece of card and it comes right to the edge, I would suggest you just pull it a bit further away, because what you can find is when you turn in your card, it just drops off the edge, and then you find it harder to get it going again. Okay, so just be, you're going to have a little bit of waste. A little waste. That's a long time since I had a little waste. Okay, so so once you start going, then you can stop turning the thing and just start turning the card. So like I say, I'm not trying to cut it in one go. I'm just going to keep going round until it cuts free. And you'll know it cuts free because it'll start, you'll be turning the card and the disc inside isn't moving. Okay, I think we're kind of nearly there. It's a little bit left to go, so we might just need to cut it like that. There we go, there we go. There we go, there we go. So, and there we go. So once again, there we go. Then we're going to just undo this and move that down. So we're going to go to, we'll go to there this time, because remember the grooves on your record weren't necessarily evenly spaced. You know, if you're doing an LP size, now I could have done these at a 7-inch size. However, it would make the storage box very, clumsy. If you wanted to make it as a box of faux 7-inch singles, then do that, and then you could make it as a journal, couldn't you? So you could even go the whole hog and make the record player for it to go in, but that's entirely up to you. So this one is stuck for some reason. Yeah, so you had track spacing, so if you were making a bigger one because you wanted to make it as a 33 or an LP or whatever, an album or a long playing record technically, but you do you, and guess what, I'll do me. So, and you don't have to be terribly accurate, it doesn't have to go all the way round. You just do whatever takes your fancy. There is no right or wrong. It's a thing that we've just made up, so it doesn't matter, because this isn't to scale. So don't give yourself a hard time about it. If you want to make yours at 3.5 inches, or 2 inches, or 49 inches, you'd be lucky to cut a circle at 49 inches, but there you go. You're on your own there, so don't come asking for my help. But you do what you want, so just like I'm going to do what I want, and this is what I want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I really, really, really want a zig it. Honestly, my brain. You should try living in my... No, don't try living in my head. Please don't try living in my head. It's bad enough living in a box, living in a cardboard box. I'm living in a box. I'm living in a cardboard box. I'm living in a box. Oh, Dave. Honestly, this is the problem, because this is all about records and vinyl and that sort of thing. This is what my brain is just going to be firing on, all of the, you know, all of the tracks in my mind, not the windmills of my mind. Like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending and beginning on a never spinning reel, like a snowball on a mountain, like a carnival balloon. Oh dear, I just need to get out of my head and get into my car. Get out of my bed, get into my car. Yeah. Sit in the backseat, baby. Yeah. Or I could just break out, don't stop to ask. And anything can last. You've got to shh. Honestly, it's just, it's very crowded in my head. It's like Crowded House. I don't know any of their tracks though, so. Just need a little bit of dignity. Ship called dignity. Doo doo. He wraps his lunch in a sunblessed bag. The children call him Bo. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I am trying to keep them inside. The voices in my head. Do I want to go another one down, or is that going to be enough? Shall I go another one? Yeah, let's do another one. So it is, you know, it's quite therapeutic doing these, especially because you think of all the songs that you can sing whilst you're doing it. So think of all the animals you've ever heard about, like rhinoceroses and tigers, cats and mink. Of all the furry animals in all the world, have you ever seen a panther that is pink? Think, a panther that is positively pink. Yeah, that's from the last video, Dave. So let's have a look at this. This, or maybe want to do this. Old Maid. Oh no, that's not big enough. Now I know you're going to think, oh, that's terrible, you're cutting all of these cards up. But you know what? I've had these cards for ages and I've never done anything with them. No, that's not going to cut that one. Let's use that. Yep, I like that. That's fine. I'm going to use this. So I'm just going to ink around the edge of this just to get rid of that white edge. And then just glue it down. So when I'm gluing it, I always just put the glue on where I need it to be, and then just give it a swish over with something to stop it from squirting out when you put your disc down. Oh great. Oh joy, I've got a flaming wasp in here. What's a wasp doing? Dark outside. They didn't realise they had torches. Why have I got a wasp in here? Please don't be a grumpy wasp. I haven't done anything to you. Sorry, I'm just having a conversation with the wasp because when I was a child, there's a song that's about. No, it's like I'm not. There's a song for that as well. I'm trying not to sing it. So when I was a child, I was stung by a whole load of wasps. I was walking past a nest, and some kids that were my bullies threw. It was a nest in the ground, and it had a dustbin lid put over the top of it to stop it from stinging kids because it was near the school. And it was on my path on my way home, and my bullies threw something at the lid of this bin, and then they all flew out and they attacked me and got all inside my coat and everything. And yeah, so I don't have a phobia of them, but I'm a bit wary of them. So I don't know whether you can hear that wasp, but it's flying overhead. There we go. So that's that. So we'll do that, and then we'll just make one more. Shall we make it? What should we go for? Should we go for a gold, or should we go for that's more of a CD, isn't it? So let's go for a gold. Let's go for gold. going for gold, and then we'll make the sleeve for them to go in. So if you want to skip ahead and get to the sleevey bit, then do that. So, but I will. Oh, it's over there now. Please leave me alone. No, it's behind me. I've got shorts on and bare feet, and I'm concerned that it's going to get me. Probably won't, just being a bit of a wuss about it. So, but they're so unpredictable at this time of year because they're really grumpy, and they only sting when they're grumpy. Oh, go away! Oh, it's because my light's on. It's because I have to have a light on. I can't see it. I'll just turn the light off, and then we'll just do crafting in the dark. It's like crafting on the radio. It's over there. Sorry, I'm being a wuss. I know. I might have to stop the video and come back in 3 days. Vacate the craft room until it's gone. So, look, I've got a migraine. It's bad enough having a migraine without you making my life hell as well. Do you not think I've got enough bad luck? They're just so grumpy at this time of year, and they're so unpredictable. Wasps universal? I don't mean universal, they're not in the universe, because like they'd have to have a gas mask and all that. A gas mask, a breathing apparatus. Oh, Dave, shut up. No, I mean, are they? Do you get wasps in all countries? Or are they peculiar to certain territories? Or they're peculiar, I know that. Oh, it's there. Oh my gosh. You know when I said I wasn't scared? It landed on my desk. There's a wasp in here, Brian. There's a wasp in here, and it just landed on my desk in front of me. It's up there. And it's attacking me. Well, it's dive bombing me, and I'm scared of it, so anyway, I'm recording, so I'm leaving that in. That'll be one of the Christmas bloopers. Sorry? You want to hope it heads through the window? Well, yeah, it came in through the window. That's the problem. I only have the window open because it's warm in here. Sorry, folks. So I will continue whilst I am. Well, I'm being hovered over by a wasp. See, I like this. This. How much of a professional am I? Keep going, even though there's a wasp in the room. I did scream like a banshee. Yeah, that's. I challenge anybody not to have screamed like a banshee. A wasp landing in front of you. Well, it landed just there. So I don't know whether that was in camera, but I can hear it still. Tell it to go away. Somebody tell it to go away. Collectively, you all need to wish it out of the window. You know what it is? It's here because it knows that 70% of the people that watch this don't like the video, even though they watch it. They don't like it, and it's on my leg, and it's come to tell you that if you don't like the video, it will sting me. So please like the video. Because it's making very. I'm already very warm. But the whole idea of it being in the room is making me feel a bit anxious. So I'm gonna. Well, I was gonna say I was gonna try and get it out, but there's no way I'm gonna catch it. There's no way I'm gonna even try and catch that. what I need to do is turn the other light on, and hopefully it'll head for that light and not this one. So I'm talking to you guys because it's therapy at the minute. I don't know if I've done the half bit. Did I do that size? No, I didn't. So remember, this time when you're doing the rings, you're not actually cutting through it, you're just scratching the surface of it. Pretty much like how they cut a record, so. So if I put that in there, is that going to be, no, okay, one more I think, and then it's very hard to concentrate at the moment, so not just migraine but wasp. Migraine and wasp combination. So I feel like I could do with something a bit more interesting stuck to that. A bit more. I'm trying to touch anything in case I touch the what? Oh, I thought that was it was on my leg again, but it isn't. It's my microphone wire brushed against my leg. Oh, here we go. Maybe this. Let's use this. Maybe a bit of that. A bit of the interesting part of that. Can we? Oh, that's it, Dave. That's a good idea, Dave. You cut that out and then throw it on the floor. Well, let it fall on the floor. Where is that? Oh. Where is that? It's there. It would be furthest back it could possibly get. Is that when you drop your toast on the floor and it ends up butter side down? That literally fell off and rolled right to the back. So, like I say, I'm just going to ink the edge of this. Might get this time. It's annoying me, that wasp. Let's not use that. Let's just use some of this. Oh, it's landed somewhere because it stopped buzzing. Tired. Good. I want to know where it's landed. That's the only thing. It's bad enough last night. Not last night. Sorry, the other. Oh, it's in front of me again. Yes, there was a thing in my room. What's the other thing? Not a wasp. The other thing that I don't like. What are they called? Spiders. This time of year they start coming in because the weather's changed. They come in to mate, which is always reassuring that they come in to kind of procreate in my house, especially because I don't like them, and Vic likes them, doesn't like them either. So, but I have to be the grown up and get rid of them. So I just get the vac out and suck them up the vac. So that's not in the middle. I honestly feel like there's something on my leg now. I'm just being a wuss, that's all. So, there we go. So, just on the edges of this, I might just use this brown, just because I don't have any gold. So I'll just use the brown. It's less obvious than the white edge. So just inking all the way round. Ah! Sorry. Just flew in my face. See, look, how much of a professional am I? Just keep going. Just keep going, Dave. Just keep going. So, there we go. So, we've got 3 discs now. Okay, so we've got our collection of discs. So now what, I don't know why this is suddenly started to overflow. So I'm just going to put this away now, because otherwise there'll be stabby and hurty and I'll squeal, the wasp will sting me and it'll all go horribly wrong. So, well, it's already starting to go horribly wrong just because I've got a migraine on a day when I could at least do with this. So once we've made our holes in things, you know, you can put bits of, if you're going to put coffee dyed paper on the back, I would suggest that you do it before you make the hole in it. Okay, but you can always put it on afterwards and just re-pierce the hole. That's fine. So if you did want to do that, what I would suggest is you take a piece of paper that you want to use. So let's use some of this, which is just a piece of thingy card. Let's use this again, Dave. And this time we're going to make it shorter. So we had it at 10 and it's about 10.5, wasn't it? So let's go to here. Use the more interesting part of this. This will just kind of cut in one go. Not as easy to turn the paper because the paper just bunches up, so you might have to turn your blade this time. Dave, you didn't check that it was not too close to the edge there? Like, you know what I said about don't do it too close to the edge, and then you don't listen to yourself, do you, Dave? No. Do you? No. Why aren't you listening to yourself? Probably because you're scared of the wasp. I kind of made that a weird shape because I haven't cut it properly, but just kind of peel it out. It's going to have to be perfect, Dave. Don't go for perfection. So I'm just going to reshape this because it went a bit wrong. My hole moved. It stopped making a noise. It's either dead or it's not. So I'm going to stick this to the back. So that's all you need to do. Just make it a bit smaller than the bit that you already did, and then you're just going to glue it down, and that makes it into, you know, you could put notes on it or whatever, or you could put a record of your day. A record. Yeah, okay, all right. So what you need to do is, if you put it on afterwards, after you've made the hole, just stick it on like that, and then go back to the front, and then just do, oh, except for you just made a hole in it there. Just go back to it, and there we go. Do that. Cool. Made a slight mark on it, but never mind. So that's the doing the record side of things. So making the sleeve, then you just take a piece of coffee dyed paper. Well, I took this coffee dyed paper because it feels very similar, crinkly, to the way that sleeves used to be. You know, you can get some black paper or whatever colour. Remember, they came in all sorts of different things. You could use some pattern paper, whatever. But I would suggest you have it quite thin. Otherwise, it starts to get a bit clunky when you start bending and folding. So this we need to cut down to. In order for it to fit the records, we're going to cut it to 5.5 inches wide by 8 2/8. Okay, the reason for that is you have 1/2 inch kind of overlap here either side, yeah, and then you have an extra bit just so that it doesn't just poke out at the top. So you see how it's like 1/8 inch, a little bit too big that way, and it's 1/8 inch, a little bit too big that way, so that it slides in nicely. You're not trying to wedge it in. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down. So let's cut the 5 and let's cut the 8 first, because that's the longest bit. The 8 2/8. That's 1/8. That's 2/8. Oh, Dave, 8 2/8. You see, this is when I get confused. It's an 8 1/4, isn't it, Dave? Yeah. 8 1/4. 2/8 is 8 1/4. You see, this is why imperial is not, you know how I was saying in the last video, like when I was saying about 9/8, and that's actually 1 inch and 1/8, because I get so confused and not used to doing inches. So, and then we're going to go 5 1/2 this way. So 5 1/2 this way. So now I've put that away. I was going to put that away, and then I open it back up again, and actually that's a good job because I'm going to need it again. So this time all I'm going to do is just going to fold it over. So you just want to check that that now is right. If you put that against it, does it kind of fit? Yes, it does. That's wonderful because my measurements are all right. So, and then what I do is I get my little scoreboard. And remember, if you don't have a scoreboard, you don't need a scoreboard. You can just measure it against a ruler and fold it against a ruler. So I am just going to score this. I'm going to score this at half an inch, sorry, this side. Half an inch this side. And then I'm going to turn it and do half an inch this side, because remember, we've cut it with 1/8 of an inch to spare. Sorry, it should be 5 and what? 5 1/8, Dave. You should have cut it to. Don't listen to Dave. Too preoccupied about wasps. So it needs to be 5 1/8. If I cut it down now, is it going to be 2? It's going to be, yeah, let's start again. So, apologise. It needs to be 8 2/8. 8 2/8 or 8 1/4, as we've established. 8 1/4 that way. Take that off. Throw that over there. And then this needs to be 5 1/8. Dave, not 5 1/2. There we go. Let's give you the right measurements. I'll alter that one, but I just didn't want to confuse you. So that's our width. Fold that over and just fold it into half. Yeah, and then we're going to get this. So remember, because it's 1/8 of an inch, we're not going to try and do, you know, half an inch from this end. What we're going to do is we're going to do half an inch, score, and then turn it round, half an inch, and score, and then that way the middle of it will be 4 1/8 that way. So then what we need to do is open it back out again. I feel a bit happier now the wasp has gone or died or lurking somewhere ready to sting me. And then we're going to cut one side of it off, you know, all the way up to the middle. Yeah, and then on the other side as well. All the way up to the middle. This will teach me for trying to do things with a not clear brain. And then you're just going to snip it off as though it was a tab on both sides. Yeah, and then do the same on the other bit as though it was a tab. Yeah, and then what you're going to do is you're going to fold those in. Like that. And then you're going to fold that over to go into the middle, and then you're going to just glue in those bits. This is the bit where you have to just go, Dave, does that actually fit? Yeah, it does. There you go. See, my measurements aren't wrong. I'm just, when I get the initial measurement right, so then you're just going to put a bit of glue on one side and glue it down. Now, I do them on the outside because that's the way that record sleeves used to be made, and it's just my brain going, it has to look authentic. But if you want to put them on the inside, you can. You do you, I'll do me. So then that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take this again. So the middle of this is the same size as this, but this hasn't got enough reach to it to be able to get to the middle. So all I need to do is I need to measure this and find the middle of it. I wish there was an easy way for you know, you just get a laser out and just go zap, and it's doo-doo, that's the middle, da-da. So it's, but it doesn't work like that. Can't see that ruler. So 4 and 2 of those, 4 and 1/8, so that makes it 2 and a 16th, which when you get to my age is really hard to see. So that's about there, and then you're going to just measure it that way on that line. 2 and a 16th is there. So that's where my thing has got to go. So remember, we need to make this 1.5 inches wide, which is, yeah, so these are 1.5 inches wide. So that is what, roughly in centimeters, it's just under 4. It's about 3 3/4 centimeters. So 3 3/4. So if I do that there, will that make what did I just say it needed to be? 1.5. So half of 1.5 is 1 3/4, well, 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, that'll do. That's fine. So move it a bit. Might have moved it a tad. Oops, I've definitely just moved it now. Dave, stop moving it. The wasp has gone. So thanks for wishing the wasp away, because it worked. A wimp away, a wasp away, a wasp. There you go, there's another song. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Oh. So if they make the hole in the paper a little bit bigger, that is not a problem, because remember you could see the black through the black of the vinyl through it anyway. So I'm going to stand this on here, that mark there, and then we're just going to score through, well, cut through both of those layers. So the snagging usually happens when you've got something on your, either on your mat, or the blade just needs changing. But I'm not going to change the blade now, because we're nearly done. So I don't want to be in this room too long because that wasp will come back and terrorize the neighborhood. There's another song. Thriller, do do do, do 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 do. Yeah. Oh, Dave. Sorry if you're really sick of me singing. I'm so sorry. Honestly, I'm blaming my migraine. This is how my brain is just constantly firing with weird things and neurons all the time anyway. But the even worse when it's under stress. So there we go. So that's the one that we've just made. So we're just going to tuck that in there, and it sits in there nicely, and it's a nice. You know, if you want to put another thing on the back to make it look a bit more authentic, then do that. I like to have it this way round so you can see the join thing. So we'll make another one of those, and then I'll leave you be. So let's just see if I've got a long enough sheet here. I needed it to be 8, and yeah, that's fine. That'll be long enough. Yep. 8 1/4, as we have established that 2/8 are a quarter. 8 1/4. Is it wide enough? Is it? It's going to be 5 1/8. Is it wide enough? It is wide enough. It's good. It's all going well. So do that. So then remember, now we're just going to fold it in half. Find the more interesting side. Fold it in half. And then we're going to score it. Where's my scoreboard? That. And we're going to put it up to this side, and we're going to go half. You don't want to press down too hard because it's paper. I'm going to turn it round full 180 and you're going to go half again. And we're going to open it out. Oh, hang on a minute. What happened there, Dave? One of them was not a half. That's a half there. What was the other one you did? Oh, the other one was smaller. It's not a half. So it's that second line. I'm going to open it out. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to go all the way down to the middle this time. And I'm going to show off because I'm going to get down to here. And then I'm not going to cut it off. I'm just going to go snip. And I'm going to do the same this side. Try to keep your fingers out of the way from underneath, Dave. All the way down, and then you're going to go snip, and then just snip those. Snip. Snip. Fold it in. Fold it around. Fold it around. Yes, I know, it's still happening. Not much longer now, folks. And I've had to do this in one take because I don't have any editing facilities because Vic's not here until the weekend. So fold that in, fold that, fold it over. We've got a little bit out of shape, have we? Like I can talk. And then fold that side in. And then we're going to make the middle bit, which I think is still on the right. Yep, that's fine. Oh, okay, you have to find the middle first. Getting all giddy with yourself. So we want 2 1/16 again. And then we want to, that's definitely not in the middle that way. Definitely not. And then 2 1/16 that way. So that's the one. That one there. Pop that on there. And then, like I say, not easy to turn the paper as much. Now if you want to do all of this, set it all up on your Cricut or your Brother or your Silhouette or whatever you've got, then that's absolutely fine. I do have these cutting files on saved on mine that I've created, saved on mine, but I want to show you the way that you don't have to go out and buy a £500 pieces of equipment. You can just go out, and if you don't have one of these cutting tools, then you can pick these up for, you know, a nice inexpensive amount of money. So okay, so that's that, and we're going to put that one in there. And there we go. So there we go, that's Squirrel Nutkin. And there we go. So that's our records all ready for our box that we're going to make on. We're going to make this on Monday. So we're going to pop those in there, and they all sit nicely in there. And we're going to make that, or a version thereof, because that's my prototype. We're going to make a version of that on Monday. We're going to decorate it. It'll be Monday for you. For me, it'll be Sunday when I get to do all of my videos. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was informative. I hope it was something a bit different. Please don't forget to give it a like, otherwise that wasp will come back and sting me. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, because that really helps me build my channel. I am, you know, a relatively small channel. I've got nearly 500 videos now though. But yeah, so Margot's very into music, so this will be Margot's record box. So there we go. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Don't forget, my name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I'll see you all very soon. Lots of love, and lots of hugs, and I will, yeah. Goodbye, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, adieu. Bye, right, okay, bye.